So the Israel ceasefire that's taking place right now, I believe Witkoff and Kushner are on their way to Egypt to negotiate the deal and see what's going to be happening there. But let me read a couple of these things and I will get them right into it. Rob, is that the one telling us that they're on their way there?
Yep.
Okay, go for it.
Overseas, President Trump's special envoy to the Middle East, Steve Witkoff, and the president's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, are headed to Egypt this morning, hoping to nail down a peace deal between Israel and Hamas. It is an agreement that could end the war and bring home the remaining hostages taken in the October 7th terrorist attacks. NBC's Matt Bradley has more from Tel Aviv. Matt, what's the latest there?
Yeah, good morning, Willie. So we're getting some new details starting to emerge from Israel about those negotiations that are set to begin tomorrow. President Trump announced yesterday that Israel agreed to an initial line on the map for its eventual withdrawal from Gaza. Now, once Hamas agrees, the president says the ceasefire and prisoner exchange will begin immediately. Netanyahu himself, Israel's prime minister, addressed the Israeli public last night, saying he hopes that all of this will wrap up in these talks in just a few days, after which the remaining 20 living hostages will be returning home. But there are still a lot of details to work out here, Willie.
You can pause right there, Rob. So right here, a couple things. Tens of thousands of people are in the streets of Tel Aviv pressuring Netanyahu to close the deal on the hostage release. Boom, that's taking place. Then you have Witkoff and Kushner, which we just talked about. And then you have President Trump issuing a new warning to Hamas to move quickly on hostage release, or bets are off over peace deal. Tom, your thoughts on what's going on here?
Well, there's a couple things that are going on in Gaza that we saw over the weekend. No speculation. Everyone agrees. All the news media, everybody's reporting it the same way. Even news media doesn't like each other. There is a street which is forming a line. There's a map of Gaza, and there's a street that says, hey, you can go from, you can go from west to east, down the street, across the center of Gaza, and they have sirens going off, and they have announcements of saying, you guys got to evacuate. You got to evacuate here to clear this out, this zone. And I think, the peace deal, there's this section that I think Israel's going to go in there and saying, okay, any of you Hamas that don't want to get with points 2, 3, 4, 7, and 9, on the peace deal, once all the citizens and everybody are out of there, we are going to sweep this thing if you're still there. And I think this is basically the end of the end in this area. And so that's what we're hearing. The other thing is that Hamas didn't say absolutely no, and there's a kind of not quite a neutral, but Egypt in there, allowing them to have a place to come talk about it. So I see all of that as progress, but I'm still skeptical on Hamas. But I think this is progress, number one. And number two, I think it's really bad news for Hamas, because once this evacuation order and all this section, and you and I looked at that map, that one street that goes straight across, man, everything that's inside there that is holding a gun and behaving badly, you don't need an insurance actuarial table to determine what's about to happen to that. They are going to sweep this thing.
Adam.
So by the time this episode comes out, tomorrow's October 7th. So by the time a lot of people watch this, it'll be the 2-year anniversary of October 7th. So I'll ask the following questions. What did this war accomplish? Because if you look at it from the Palestinian perspective, if you go back to October 6th, 2 years ago, literally today, 2 years ago, they were living in actual normalcy. Now, you might critique the extent of which this quote-unquote blockade was in Gaza, but they were free, as much as that means.
As much as the Middle East area can be free.
There's literally no free place in the Middle East, which is the hypocrisy of free Palestine. There's not one free place in the Middle East other than Israel. But look at Gaza now. How did this benefit the Palestinian people? I feel horrible for these people. Like anyone that doesn't view this as a humanitarian crisis.
By the way, that right there is a drone shot of Gaza, and I'm just trying to figure out, was Hamas hiding in every single building?
Well,
so this
Hamas
isn't Detroit, this is Gaza.
Hamas does a lot of booby traps.
No, Adam, hold on. You cannot tell me that is complete and total. That looks like a nuke went off. That is insane.
So you're absolutely right. And I would argue that this is exactly what Hamas wanted.
Think
about that for a second. Because I didn't say the Palestinian people. This is what Hamas wanted. Because they knew when they went in on October 7th and they killed all these people and took hostages, you think this is their first time dealing with the IDF? They've been feuding with these guys for years. They know what they're doing. They were willing to martyr their own people to sacrifice for their cause. So October 6th, they were living in somewhat normalcy. You see videos of, dude, Gaza is one of the most beautiful places on the planet. Do you understand that? Just north of it is Tel Aviv. It's a gorgeous Mediterranean Sea town. But look at the town now. So did this help the Palestinian people? Not at all. Did it help the Palestinian cause? I would say yes. So this October 7th was the best and worst thing to happen to Israel. What do I mean? Well, regionally, Israel is kicking everyone's ass. Hamas, the Houthis, Hezbollah, Islamic Jihad. We see what's going on in Iran. Everyone's lost. Syria, Lebanon, Hezbollah. But globally, this has affected the brand of Israel and even Jewish people for that matter. So, they say you can, win the battle but lose the war. There's a lot going on with that. So I think from a Trump perspective, this is going to possibly be the biggest deal he's ever done, if he can get this done. The one glimmer of hope that I do have is that Trump, remember when he went around the Middle East and he had all those, he went to Saudi, he went to Dubai, went to Qatar, he had all these meetings. What's the likelihood? He said, guys, we got to end this war and I need your help. And you hear him say, I want to thank Jordan, I want to thank Egypt, I want to thank Saudi, I want to thank Qatar. He's understanding that in order for this deal to get done, it's not about Hamas. It's about the 99% of the rest of the Muslim Arab community that says, let's help you with this. And if he can do that, there's a possibility of a ceasefire and a peace deal, but I don't trust Hamas at all.
You're well read on this. What do you think the effectiveness of the commission that will be led by Trump and Blair? Because that's different. There's never been I don't want to say the word, but I'm going to say it, kind of like a mini UN that they're establishing with world leaders from other places that are going to be in governance. What do you think the potential for success with that?
Well, I trust Trump and Kushner and Witkoff. Tony Blair, I mean, isn't he like...
I'm talking about the commission that they're going to set up.
Partially responsible for what happened many years ago in the invasion of Iraq and Afghanistan? That's a whole other conversation. It's kind of like letting the wolf into the sheep's den. But as far as the commission, I would love to see a coalition of like-minded, moderate Arab states who's saying, we want stability in the region. We all know the biggest, baddest actor in the region has been the Islamic Republic of Iran. They've been defanged, and we see what's going on with that. But I think this coalition for regional stability is the most important coalition that Trump might have put together in the history of the Middle East. The only downside is Hamas cannot be a part of it. And Hamas is going to have a choice to say, do I really want to disarm and give these hostages back, or do I want to literally rule a city of ashes? And if you know anything about Hamas, they're a big believer in this thing called jihad, and that trumps everything, so to speak.
Vinny.
Well, so tomorrow is October 7th, 2 years. I remember 2 years, it was October, I want to say 9th. No, I'm sorry. It was like a week after October 7th. John Kirby under Biden said, somebody was like, so how did this happen? How could the most secure location on the entire planet have this attack happen? They didn't know, 6 hours this. And you remember what he said? Now's not the time. It's been 2 years. There's still nobody talking about how that happened. I think to find out how we got here, we have to figure out what happened. There's been no explanation of how that happened, Pat. I saw Israeli IDF soldiers in Israel, and it's all in Hebrew with subtitles, and the guy is saying, we got stand-down orders. At the hours of this time and this time, stand-down orders. That guy needs to, I don't know what's happening in their courts. Who would give that type of order to IDF soldiers not to respond? It's almost like what's happened in Chicago. Don't fight, stay back. So that has to be answered. And I think this dragged out 2-year war, Adam, they were going to do this, in my opinion, regardless. What I think the anger...
They who? Not Hamas?
No. I think BB, the goal was to wipe... I think the mission was to do this, but... And by the way, it's not anti-Semitism that's happening. I think it's anger at the Israeli government. If you were going to do it, do it. They should have came in and
what do you
attacked.
say about that?
I don't know. I mean, you're saying that Israel would have done it anyway. Destroy Gaza.
Yes, it was going to happen regardless, Tommy.
There were two parts of Gaza. The part above ground, a part underground. The part above ground, there is a huge percentage of people living in Gaza, including Jewish people, Israelis that lived in Gaza. So there is all the citizens that were living at peace and had a working economy, and you see all the pictures of that. That thing we last saw there, which showed the all the boats and everything. Look at all the boats at the marina. Look at this. There's a beach community, not like
this is when,
like Florida. Yeah, this is before.
That's before and after.
Abdallah El Haji. Yeah, and
that was actually impressive, Tom. But just to clarify, there were 0 Jews living in anywhere near Gaza.
Yeah, so that's
they're literally not allowed there.
No, they're not allowed in Gaza.
Wait a minute.
Talk about apartheid.
Yeah.
No, they're literally not allowed to go.
Okay.
So Tom, my point is
you had the above ground community that had voted for the.
But let's go with your point.
Yeah.
Let's go with your point. So, Vinny, your point is you're saying that they were going to do this regardless, is what you're saying. Okay. There's multiple arguments because I've heard this on what do you call it? It's like a broken record. It's every time it's the same thing of how did you stand down? We were one of the first podcasts to even address that with Charlie Kirk sitting exactly where you're sitting right now, right? Okay. So we got that. And this is the clip. If you want to press the first part, go ahead, Rob.
I've been to Israel many times. The whole country's a fortress. When I first heard this story, I still had the same gut instinct that I did initially. I find this very hard to believe. I've been to that Gaza border. You cannot go 10 feet without running into a 19-year-old with an AR-15 or an automatic machine gun. That's an IDF.
You can pause it right there. So we address this, but this is where I'm going. Where I'm going is, do I believe there was a stand down and for whatever reason they didn't come and get it? I do. Like, do I believe that? I myself, I do. Because if your intel is that smart and that brilliant, where you can send 5,000 pagers and you're this creative and you can get intel and, Trump is like, I'm sorry, what are you doing? Where are you? I can tell you exactly where you're at. Trump didn't get that intel. He got it from Israel. Mossad gave it to him, right? So you can't be that good and not know. However, that is one thing. The other, the fact that they attacked, they imposed.
100%.
Okay, so they imposed. So they imposed their attack, and this guy saying, oh, really? This is what you want to do? Let them. Look what we're going to do to them. We're going to destroy them. Do I think an instance like that could have happened? Yes. But the reality of it is what? They prompted it.
Oh, for sure.
So they prompted it. So I know this whole thing is like, it's still the lingering energy of, this is all because of Israel. This is all because of Israel. This is all because of Israel. Not the first domino. The first domino is
100%.
Hamas.
100%, I agree.
The way to react, you can question the reaction and say, well, we would have done this, we would have done that. Sometimes when somebody wants to do something to you and you've told them many, many years, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. Eventually, like, you want to do it? Let them do it. Let them do it, and then see what happens to them. A kid screws up. You tell them, don't do it. You eventually go ahead and put that thing in the what do you call it? Go ahead and do it. Just let him do it one time. And then he's like, I will never do that again, right? How many more hundreds of times do I need to tell you don't put it there? So I think there was something there. Again, you could say, but that's evil. That goes back to the Epstein story of Trump having the information and you haven't.
Yeah. And using it as leverage.
It's not for the average day-to-day person, man. It's a side of this job that you have to be ice cold. I mean, what did Netanyahu do before he became the prime minister? What did he and his brother do?
Mossad,
what wars did they fight? No, not just Mossad. These guys were Delta Force.
Yeah.
These guys were both highest-ranking level Delta Force of Israel, getting shot at. His brother died. Like his
brother died in the raid on Entebbe, which was a hostage rescue mission.
These are not some, good-looking millionaire life that came out that, hey, this is what we're going to be doing. They are I don't even know how to make the comparison of them in America politically. Tell me when's the last time we had a president that was Delta Force of Special Forces?
We never had one.
No. Tell me when's the last time we had somebody like that?
Never.
Like Teddy Roosevelt or something.
But he wasn't. Not this level.
Maybe Eisenhower's like the guy you have to go to, that back. Maybe even that.
Maybe.
But what I'm saying to you is, probably the best comparison to this is the George Washington-ish, guys from the beginning that just the way they got what they got is by, we are a byproduct of America the first 100 years being very nasty. Mm-hmm. How old is Israel right now?
1948 is when.
So how old is Israel right now?
70 some years.
Okay,
right?
do the math. It says 77 years old. 70. What is it? Yeah. So I'm 77 years old. So
Correct.
check this out. If it's 70, what did America look like the first 77 years? So go 1776, go into the 1850s.
Yeah,
what did America look like?
We kind of had a civil war
Yeah.
just after that.
What I'm saying to you is like they're so in it that to say who you compared that to, yeah, we don't have people like that in America right now. These guys are true believers. They look at everybody else, and even these guys, the only people they probably look at and say you're comparable to us is a Putin, because Putin fought, Putin did. They look at the people that were warrior leaders of a nation. You don't have to agree with it. You don't have to sit there and be, what are you saying? Saying, that still doesn't make sense. How could you say something like that? I totally get it. These are ice cold people that responded to what Hamas did, and then they said, okay, you want to do that? Let's wrap it up. That's what I think happened. Go ahead.
So let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
So it's been, and I'm sorry, because I
go
want to
ahead.
know both of you guys. So it's been 2 years. And when I'm saying I know, like this was the goal anyway, because Pat, we're talking about Hamas, tunnels, hostages. They're not going to give them up, okay? Meaning, this is going to be the fight that you're going to have regardless. Do you think if Bibi and the Israeli government, Tom, like gave everybody a week, guys, because they've killed 67, how many thousands of innocent? If
Well,
they just
relax, buddy. Half of those people are Hamas. So
you're definitively
trusting Hamas's
no,
numbers?
I'm not listening to any numbers.
So-
How do you have your numbers that you're saying half of them? All right,
Well,
Adam,
how do you have your
Adam,
numbers?
wait, let's just say I'll give you half.
You wanna use
I'll give
that?
you I'll give you
Okay.
half. I'll give you half.
That's probably
35,000
likely,
30,000 innocent
What do
people
you-
are dead.
what's your
my
point?
point
though?
is that here's
Yeah.
my point. Here's my point.
That
Do
war
you
is
think
nasty?
because everybody's saying that there's a bunch of anti-Semitism happening right now, I think it's anti-government. If they went in and just did it quick like that, do you think the people, like the sentiment of the world would be angry, as Israel now? I'm just curious.
I think here's what you have to realize, okay? And this is never going to go away. I think you're talking to a community of 2 billion people who hate a community of 15 million people. It's not 10x, it's 150x of their people. If there's one person in the room right now to speak on their behalf and 150 people on the other side, who are you going to believe?
Yeah, the 150 people.
That's what's happening to you.
No, but
What I'm trying to say to you is that's what the world is going through right now.
But you understand my question though? If it happened faster, would there be that many angry people still?
But Vinny,
Well,
let's get to the bottom of it. That's
Yeah.
not the bottom of it. That's the bottom of it isn't that.
I'll answer Vinny's question.
But let me just say that from my perspective, that's not it. Because we'll go here and then we'll go here and then we'll go here and then we're like, yeah, but isn't it that this? No, just get to what you think is going on and what you really think is taking place. Here's what I think is really taking place. Okay, then say it if that's what you think is taking place. But the reality of it is these guys, when you're saying, they were eventually going to do it. If you live next to a certain neighbor, Vinny, where every night you're worried for the safety of your kids, you're probably eventually going to do something.
Of course.
Okay, and that's what
Of
they're
course.
doing.
Yeah. So, and that my point is, why didn't it happen faster? It's been 2 years.
Well, I
you
mean,
know what I mean? Like, get to it.
Why didn't what happen faster?
Like, get in the tunnels and go kill. Like, go for it. Go do an
Vinny,
underground
you're
mission.
oversimplifying a hostage situation in a war-torn, ravaged area as if it's just like, come on, bro, let's get the hostages.
Adam, they're down
what are
to.
we doing
Did you
here?
hear what they said? They're down to 20 alive hostages. That means they've been torturing them and killing them. No. So you've been waiting for 2 years. I'm saying, for the sake of the hostages, go and effing get them
You don't think
and
they've
start. Go
thought
for it.
about that, buddy?
No, they thought about
You
it. But
think
Adam,
this is something they just came to the realization?
my point is, it's
hey guys, you
taken
probably
2
want to get
years.
those hostages.
2
That's
years,
been the
and we're
that's been
assuming,
the linchpin in
Adam,
all
and
of this.
But by the way, that's a valid question as well that Vinny's asking. Like, game one of the Yankees against, who did they play? Yankees played
Blue Jays.
Not Blue Jays, the one that they won.
Red Sox.
Red Sox. He takes Jason Fried out after 6 and 2/3 or 1/3. I don't know what it was.
Way
6
too
innings
good.
and a third, right? He takes him out. He's doing great. And he takes him out, and then they lose. It's like, why'd you take him out? Then the next game, the rookie guy's pitching, Schlechter, and he leaves him till the 8th inning. He pitches 12 strikeouts, right? And you make adjustments. And these are professionals.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very valid question. Maybe that was a mistake they made. In the military, you're not going to get it right with everything that you're doing.
I agree.
Maybe that's a mistake that they made. But go ahead, Adam. Wrap this up so we can get to the next story.
You talked about this whole concept of Hanlon's razor. Not everything is this coordinated conspiratorial thing. Sometimes things just happen. Is that the whole premise of what you're talking about? Hanlon's razor?
No,
is that
Hanlon's
it's the
razor,
fact that it's
Hanlon's razor
don't
is-
chalk up put together coalition of things with just stupidity.
No,
Right?
Hanlon's razor is about don't think because that person's late because they're disrespecting you and they don't respect you. Don't think that everybody is trying to do bad things. It's not malice.
Never attribute
It could
malice
be
to which can inadequately
stupidity.
explain as stupidity.
So meaning don't jump to conclusion.
Yeah. So regarding what happened that day with Charlie Kirk, let me just address that. Those questions of the total can totally be asked. I have friends in Israel. I have Jewish friends. I have friends from all over the world that ask that question. The point is that I've tried to emphasize is jumping to conclusions. People are just jumping to a conclusion. So October 7th, you asked, like, why didn't they respond? On October 8th, the world started condemning Israel 2 years ago. That to me was like, whoa. On October 8th, when the hostages were just taken, they just killed 1,200 people. The world was condemning Israel. That was a big turning point for me. I'm like, what? Even if you don't agree with some of the political and geopolitical arrangements there, you're applauding Hamas and condemning Israel the day after this atrocity? That to me was a telltale sign. As far as this October 7th, was it a stand down order? Let's just address a couple things. What day did it happen? On a Saturday morning, which is Shabbat, the Sabbath. Charlie Kirk was writing a book about turning your phone off and observing the Sabbath. A lot of people in Israel do that. This was also a week after Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur on a holiday called Simchat Torah, meaning it's like the highest holy holidays in Israel. So if you're Hamas and you're gonna attack, you're gonna do it when everyone has their phones off during the holy month where they're not prepared. Now you could say, well, you should still be prepared.
The military
because,
doesn't stand down for holidays.
I totally understand that.
They have to get heightened. They get more heightened because they know that the enemy was going to
put it this way. In Israel, if they take a Saturday off at this point, then you're sleeping on the job, homeboy. Yeah. But as far as people's commentary, in my humble opinion, if you've never been to that side of the world, I mean, you've never stepped foot in Israel, the Middle East, Saudi, Iran, shush. You have no clue what it's like. You have no clue what it's like. If you're on a college campus and you've never been to that side of the world, time for you to shush. Because the loudest people in the room are the woke white liberals, not the Middle Eastern community. You don't see protests in Saudi. You don't see protests in Dubai. You don't see protests in Iran. And if you do, those people are hung the next day. It's always protests in white, woke, liberal countries that have been invaded by the Muslim Brotherhood. So we're going to see what happens here. Truly, 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 I think there's a very small segment of the Palestinian people that actually want peace. I actually don't think they want peace because they've had the opportunity to have peace deals for years and years and years and years, and they've constantly rejected it because there's a phrase they've constantly said, tell me if you've heard this, from to the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, which means what thing? They want it all. So they're if there's a genocide going on, really, wouldn't you want a ceasefire immediately? Like stop the ceasefire. They're like, well, let's wait and see if we like the deal or not. Okay, I get that. But if there's really a genocide, probably want to take this deal immediately, which goes to show it's all the genocide, all the apartheid, all this, it's all talking points. Like PBD said, there's 150 people saying, ceasefire now. And there's one person be like, yeah, okay, let's do it. Give us the hostages. They're like, whoa, 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 whoa. That's a little too much of a bargaining point here, buddy. You want the hostages back? So I think the truth will come out. And if this happens, Trump will get a Nobel Peace Prize, but I'm still not sold.
Let me tell you, the fact that they're doing this out there trying to make this deal happen, we hope it gets done and it gets done ASAP because there's been way too much talk and wars for the last 2 years, whether it's them or Ukraine, Russia. We'd like to see this stop. And by the way, both of those wars, just so everybody knows this, they both got started under a guy named Joseph Biden.
Huh.
Yeah.
Joseph, for one, know that. Not under Trump. They got started under Joseph Biden.
Joseph.
And he has to now find a way to stop it. Yesterday, guys were posting pictures of being at football games and baseball games. One baseball game I wasn't too happy about, but they were watching it at a bunch of these baseball games. And you know what hat they were wearing? And what shirt they were wearing? They were wearing the allegedly shirt. This is by far the biggest insurance policy for you folks. Go pick up a allegedly hat for $15, a sweater, a shirt, a coffee mug. Go get it. This is like limited supply left because these things are running out. Originally, when we had a lot of different sizes, but if they have your size, go ahead and place the order with these things. They're one of the coolest conversation starter shirts you can wear out there. And people ask you, why are you wearing an allegedly shirt? Well, listen, it's my insurance policy to make sure I'm protected. Now all you have to say is allegedly to make sure you're protected from people coming after you. Anyways, allegedly gear is one that people like to wear no matter where they go.
If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.